Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. Today's video is going to be kind of a public service announcement. Not really a how-to video or a tips and tricks video, although I think what I'm going to say could be construed as a how-to or tips and tricks video. But if you've been following my channel, you know that currently I'm in the process of making a guitar that is going to have a crocodile skin texture carved into the top of the body. And in my very last video, I was making the body on my CNC machine. And on the very last carve, which was carving out the perimeter shape of the body, the blank that I was carving the body out of shifted on the wasteboard. And when that happened, the spindle kept going in the direction that it was supposed to go in because of the G code that was instructing it on where to move. However, because the body blank had now shifted, that meant the bit was going to go where it wasn't really intended to go. As a result, the bit carved into the top of the body and caused some fairly significant damage, which I have managed to fix. And that's something that I will be talking about in probably a future video, probably the next one after this one. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is the importance of work holding. And this is something that you may never have considered before, but work holding, in my opinion, if you're building guitars using a CNC machine, work holding is critical. In fact, I now have decided it is probably the most important factor to consider when you're preparing to carve something with a CNC machine. Oftentimes we get caught up thinking about feed rates, depth of cut, step over, those sort of topics. And that's what everyone seems to focus on. And I know that's what I've focused on for a long time. But I think work holding trumps everything, because you can spend all kinds of time coming up with the perfect feed rates and depth of cuts, step over and all that. Choosing the right bit and getting everything ready to go. But if you don't pay attention to the work holding, all that effort could be for naught, because you can experience what I experienced, and that it was to have that body blank shift as I was carving it. Now, what happened was I had clamped down the body blank to the wasteboard, pretty much using the same approach and techniques that I've always used, which is I focus on applying vertical downward force using simple clamps that clamp to, or that are actually screwed into holes on the wasteboard. This wasteboard is MDF. It's 3/4 of an inch thick. But then on the back side of it, coming up through each of these, I think there's 100 and some odd holes on the surface, I think they're M5 threaded steel inserts. And that's what my clamps screw into, as you can see over here. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video, I would encourage you to stop what you're doing right now and click that thumbs up button down below. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps to support my channel. But if you want to take your support to the next level, you can click the thanks button and leave a tip in the amount that you think is fair. Also, you can click the join button and become a member of my channel. And as a member, you'll have access to exclusive members-only content, which are videos just like the one you're watching, but with a lot more detail, a lot more tips and tricks, and all kinds of guitar building secrets. And best of all, no ads. Now let's get back to the video. What I neglected to do, and this is something I knew about because I've actually done this in the past, and I've done it quite often, is I also will apply horizontal clamping force. And that's done with clamps that are screwed down tight to the wasteboard, but that run up against the sides of the blank to keep the blank from moving. And this is important, even if you think you've got really good downward vertical clamping force. The problem is this machine is capable of high speeds and aggressive depth of cut. Now, I call it aggressive, and it really isn't aggressive because it's what this machine is designed to do. However, as I discovered in this car, if you want to be successful at doing it, you've got to make sure that your material is clamped down in an adequate manner to withstand the forces of this machine as it's running. Now, when I was carving and this accident occurred, I was using a 1/4 inch diameter 2-flute spiral upcut bit. And I was running the machine at 150 inches per minute, which is, I don't want to say it's conservative, but it's not aggressive either. It's sort of in the middle. I could definitely increase the speed if I wanted to, but 150 seemed pretty safe. And that's what I was running the feed rate for the machine. And depth of cut was 1/4 inch, which is the same dimension as the bit's diameter. But that was aggressive enough to cause that blank to slip on the surface of the wasteboard. So now I have to make sure whenever I'm doing cuts like that, that I have not only that vertical downward force clamping, but horizontal force coming in laterally from the sides on all edges all the way around, so that as the bit is moving through the wood and changing direction, it's not going to cause that blank to slip. And that was a mistake I made, and I'll own up to that. In the past, when I have done aggressive carving like that, especially like if I'm carving bodies and guitar necks, I will make sure that I clamp it correctly. But for some reason, I simply forgot to put those clamps for the horizontal clamping force, and I paid the price for it. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to get across in this video, is that if you're using a CNC machine to make your guitars or to cut the material, make sure that you've got your work holding down to a T. And I would love to hear in the comments section below some of the different strategies that you guys use when it comes to clamping your material. Share that with the rest of the world. I know some of you will probably be using pin alignment systems, and I'm sure some of you are using vacuum tables. I've used pin alignment systems myself in the past, and it works pretty well. And it's something I may consider going back to, because I'm thinking about replacing this wasteboard. But I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. I've got some things to think through on it. But I know that for my workflow in the past, using a pin alignment system wasn't always the right option, because most of my blanks, in fact, pretty much all of them, are different sizes. If I was doing my work using the exact same size neck blanks and body blanks and fretboard blanks, I think a pin alignment system would definitely make sense. It would be faster and it would be more accurate. Not to mention, the pins would prevent the material from slipping around under machining forces. So yeah, that's something that I would like to go back to, and I've actually thought of a way where I could do a wasteboard, but then a separate board with the pins to align the blank, and then clamp that separate board down. But yeah, it's something I've got to think through, because I'm not sure if that would really solve the problem. So, and a vacuum table, unfortunately, most of the type of work that I carve on my CNC machine, I don't really think a vacuum table would work, because there's too many contours. And I'm afraid that I couldn't get adequate clamping vacuum pressure, so to speak. So that's something I haven't tried before. But I'd be curious to see what the rest of you are doing, and to see if you've had success or if you run into other issues like that. I think it's kind of an interesting topic. But if you got anything out of the video, you know the drill. Click the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Of course, if you'd like to take your support to the next level, you can do some of the things I just mentioned earlier in this video. And as always, until the next episode, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for more of these guitar building videos.